I'm back with another cruise video to help cruising to be a lot better for you, so everything can be smooth sailing. So I want to talk about going into your cabin for the first time. It's so important that you do some things so your trip can be very smooth, so you can make the most of your vacation, make the most of your time on the ship. And so I noticed that if you get these things done right away, everything is so much more wonderful by getting these things done. So I want to share our tips of what we do when we first get in our cabin that makes for a very enjoyable, smooth sailing cruise. So if you're interested in those tips and you find anything that I say to be enjoyable, fun, informative, and helps you as you take your own cruises, then please do me a favor and subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell so you never miss a video. All right, so let's get to it. It's embarkation day, everything went smoothly. You go up to your room, your luggage is there, keys are in the door, unless you are on Virgin. I hear that you don't ever have to wait to get into your room on Virgin, that is always ready. And that on some of the other cruise lines, if you get there super early, your keys won't be in the door. But in a perfect world, and the keys are already in the door, you're going to take your keys, you're going to open up that cabin room. And the first thing that I recommend that you do before you start unpacking, before anything else, is I like to take a picture so I can show you all, and then also do a small video of the cabin so I can bring it to you. But you don't have to be a YouTuber or a vlogger to do any of those things. The thing is that your stateroom probably won't ever look as clean as it does right now. So it's a good time to document that moment. And so you'll have this, like, this is what our cabin looked like before the luggage was open, before my husband gets in the bed and take a nap, and now the sheets are all over the place. This is what it looks like. So I recommend taking that picture first and foremost. And then after that, my second thing that I feel that is really good if you have the energy is hang up your clothes. You don't want your clothes to be wrinkled and it's already been in that suitcase. So the sooner that you can hang it up, the better. And another thing I recommend, if you haven't done so, and if you send this video in time, pack extra hangers. We love to pack extra hangers. Now, I would say that the Celebrity cruise ship that we were on last month has so many hangers that we almost didn't need them, but I was glad that we brought the extra hangers anyway, because my husband likes to line up all of his blazers and they look real nice, because you don't want to have to iron your clothes. It takes time away from your trip. It takes time away, but you could be basking in the sun, sipping on a cocktail and dancing on the Lido deck. So why not just get that out of the way by hanging up your clothes? And another tip that I'm going to let you know, and I'm not even going to make you wait to the end of the video for this tip, although there's going to be some really special tips at the end of the video, but this one I'm going to give you right now. When it comes to your clothing, we have the spray. And I don't know, I'll put it in the description, but it's a spray. It comes in this little blue bottle. And when you spray it on your clothes, you can hang it up your clothes and you spray it on your clothes and it magically get rid of the wrinkles. So we like to bring that on every cruise with us too. And then we like to hang up our stuff right away. And even if you're not going to hang up everything because you're not in the mood, hang up those really important items right away. So next thing that I recommend that you do, especially if you're going to be on the ship for a while, you have like a longer duration, bring magnetic hooks. Or if you just like a nice looking cabin and to make even more space that you have in your cabin, I like to bring the magnetic hooks that I have, because everything in the cabin is magnetic. So you put the hooks up and you're able to hang your bag, your purse, your belts, and anything that could be extra that you hang on your wall around your room. Your lanyards with your sail-away card can go there. It just helps. You don't want to lose precious time on your cruise because you can't find your bathing suit, or your bathing suit isn't dry from the previous day because it didn't hang. You can't find your sail-away card and you need your sail-away card to get off the ship. I just feel like it's going to help you be more organized in the small space of a cruise cabin. Now, if you're in one of those really grand luxury suites that's as big as a condo, maybe not. But if you're in the average size cabin, veranda, or even a junior suite, I recommend those magnetic hooks. Next thing I want to recommend is sanitize. I cannot say this enough. Sanitize, sanitize, sanitize. I know that you have people that's cleaning your room, but this is going to be where you live. This is going to be where you stay for the next remaining days. So make sure that you sanitize. I like to bring little wipes and we wipe down areas with the little Lysol wipe, things that can be harboring germs like doorknobs and light switch and the faucets and the handles and just any area that you see in your surroundings. And honestly, it only take a few minutes. It really only takes a few minutes and it grants you peace of mind. It's an extra layer of protection. And I really feel like mindset is everything. And the thing is that my husband, he does this on the airplane and that really helps. And he's been doing this like way before 2020. You know what I mean? Way before the C word, way before that. It only takes a couple of seconds and it just really helps. It's more of a better safe than sorry type of thing. So make sure you sanitize everything. You want to also check your bed configuration and you should be able to know right away if your bed has been configured. So when you book your cruise, they give you a chance to select how you want that bed configuration to be, or you can talk to someone about whether you want the beds together or whether you want it separate. So if it's like a girls trip and you're with your friends, you all want separate beds, or parent-child trip and the child is kind of old and you want separate beds, make sure that you select that. And if you want a joint bed, make sure you pick that as well. But sometimes they don't get it right, whether you book it on your own or you book it with a cruise travel agent. Sometimes they don't get it right. So when you get in the room, you want to check. And then if it's not correct, definitely tell your state attendant that they have your bed configuration off and they will correct it for you. They will correct it for you that first day. Speaking of bed configuration, this is also a good time to check and see if the bed is comfortable, because many times they can help make those changes too. You find that your bed is not comfortable, if you find that you need softer or harder, or you need more pillows. My husband, he likes a pillow. He likes a lot of pillows for his head. So this is a great time to request for those extra pillows, request for that extra blanket, especially if it's going to be cold at night, especially if you have a veranda suite where you have the patio doors, there may be extra air that can seep in. So it's a good time to request and ask for extra bedding at this time and everything dealing with the bed. Sometimes you also can check too underneath. Sometimes the last guest left something and they didn't like the cleaners, the cabin attendant didn't catch it. So it's a good thing to like look under your bed just to make sure there's nothing hanging in the bathroom and things like that. And while you're checking that, make sure that everything is working. So you want to make sure that, you got hot water running out of your faucets in your shower. You want to make sure your toilet flush. That's very important. Little things like that. Your remote control, you want to make sure that doesn't need more batteries. Same thing with lamps and stuff. These are also really great tips that you can use when you are going to a hotel as well, because it will be something that you also need to check to make sure that those things are working. So check, make sure things are functioning. If they're not functioning, make sure that you tell your cabin attendant about those things. They'll get it taken care of for you, right away. It's best to just let them know at the beginning so you're not dealing with anything later. And make sure that you know where your life jackets are. Hopefully you will never, ever need them. But it's nice to be able to know where they are. And then also they're going to check that too, because one of the things that you have to do when you get on the ship is that you have to do your self-check muster training. And I like it now because post 2020, they don't have everyone together anymore. So a lot of it you can do on your own. You can do it on the app. I actually was doing our pre-check muster check-in on the way to the port, which made it where I didn't have to really do anything else except show up. Like you show up to the station and they check you off and you're clear. If you don't do that, the ship will not be able to sail away. So even though I'm giving you great tips to do, make sure your muster is taken care of first. So while you're checking to make sure everything works, a good thing to check for is the safe that is in your cabin. So you want to check that safe. One of the reasons why you're going to check that safe is because you don't want to, last thing you want to do is put all your valuables in the safe and then it locks and you can't get your valuables out. You don't want that. So always do a check first to make sure that the safe works before you put your items in the safe. And some of you may be thinking, Shira, that never happens. Well, I was on Celebrity last month and our safe, not only did our safe not work, but it was like broken. It was completely like missing, and they had like this piece of wood or something that was you could see that they were working on putting it back in. So you just never know. You want to make sure you check that because it could cause a delay if your stuff is trapped in the safe, you're not able to get it out, and no one wants any delays on their cruises, whether it is a short 2-3 day cruise or a 15-day cruise. We don't want any delays. We want to get straight to the fun, straight to the party, straight to the relaxation, or whatever reason it is for you to, to do your cruise. So I like to check my mini fridge, and that may be weird, but I like to check the mini fridge because I try to decide what's going on. Some mini fridges are so filled up with stuff that they're trying to sell you that there's no space for you to put your own things in there. And then some have space. Sometimes you can be really nice, even if it's filled up. You can say to your cabin attendant, I'm not going to use any of this stuff. Can you remove it? Many times they will remove it. And then that way you don't have to worry about any charges. If you're in a cruise ship where they would not remove it and you don't anticipate finding anything that's already pre-stacked in your fridge, I normally do a quick picture or a quick video of it, because at the end of your cruise, you don't want any surprise charges of them thinking that you remove this, you remove that, and that way it's just a nice safety backup of, no, this is what my fridge looked like on day one, and I didn't remove anything, and you trying to charge me for that Red Bull, and it was never in the fridge. Like I said, a lot of times it's not necessary, but it wouldn't hurt. And since you're already taking a picture of your cabin, since you're already doing maybe even a quick video, why not? The next thing I want to talk about is meeting your cabin attendant. So you want to make sure that you introduce yourself to your cabin attendant. You want to make sure that you say hi. I like to ask where they're from because they're normally really excited to talk about where they're from and to think about the people back home that they are not only just working for, but sending money to those people, that their loved ones at home. Oftentimes I notice that many of them like talking about that. At the same time, I would recommend keep it brief because they have a lot of people to meet and they have a lot of cabins to attend to. But you definitely want to make sure that you introduce yourself. And then this is a good time to decide. And again, this is optional, but some people may like to tip at the beginning to kind of set the tone, especially if you have a lot of demands or requests. Some people might like to tip their cabin attendant at the beginning. Some people may like to wait to the end. And some people may say, hey girl, I already paid my gratuities. That covers everything. Whatever it works for you, whatever floats your boat. If you have any immediate requests, this is when you'll be able to tell them. And another thing that you may not realize that you're going to need, especially if you're a first time cruiser or it's been a long time since you cruised, but you're probably going to need ice. Okay, for some reason you're on a cruise, you get really, really thirsty, you want to drink water, and it's nice to have ice in your room. Whether you have the drink package or not, you would like to have some ice. So one of the things that I recommend is just let your cabin attendant know that you would like fresh ice daily. Or I would like fresh ice in the morning and fresh ice in the evening. And that way you can tell the attendant one time and then it is already there. It's always done. Sort of like, it makes me think about that scene in Wolf of Wall Street when...
Mr. Hanna, what can I bring for you on this glorious afternoon?
Well, Hector, here's the game plan. You're gonna bring us 2 absolute martinis. You know how I like them, straight up. And then precisely 7½ minutes after that, you're gonna bring us 2 more. Then 2 more after that, every 5 minutes until one of us passes the fuck out.
Excellent strategy, sir.
I'm good with water for now, though. Thank you.
If you let your cabin attendant know everything right away, then you don't have to ask for it every day. That is already done for the duration of your cruise. Trust me, it is a time saver and it just makes everything more enjoyable. And why not? Because if you're not doing it, it's definitely other people there that's doing it. So just ask nicely for that. Speaking of communicating with your cabin attendant, I want you to think about your door sign. Okay, so your door sign is something that is important because it lets your cabin attendant know that it's okay to come in the room to clean, or that is not okay. So every cruise line is different. So Celebrity, and I cruise more than Celebrity. I went on Royal a few months back, love Carnival, going on Virgin in a few months. It's not just Celebrity. But anyway, like, okay, on Celebrity or many of them, they have like a sign. And so you can put like, hey, I'm dreaming on one side. And then on the other side, you can be like, oh, it's free to come in. So you can just do the flip flop type thing, where you can notify them and let them know. And that way, sometimes you just don't want them coming in. You don't want them to clean. Just make sure that you flip it, because you don't want to go on an excursion and you still have that you're dreaming and they don't come in to clean if you really need that cleaning. But they're going to pay attention to that sign. So make sure that you use it. Now, I do know that on certain cruise lines and certain more modern and newer ships, they may have a light. Like, okay, light on means come in and light off means don't come in. So wherever it's a light or a sign, just make sure you check it. Make sure you check it every time that you know that you're leaving your room. You're going to be gone for a while. And that way you won't come up with any problems or any hiccups when it comes to making sure that your stateroom is clean. All right, so definitely I am going to post in the description different things that can help your cabin to be more enjoyable, different things you may need. So I'm definitely going to put a link to my Amazon travel store in the description box, and you can find the magnetic hooks, you can find the wrinkle spray, or any other thing that you may need to help you stay in your cabin to be enjoyable, fun, relaxing. Here's the tip that I didn't say at the beginning that I wanted to reward you for staying with me for this amount of time. I always want to make sure that I have like something really yummy at the end of the video. So this is a yummy tip. You're gonna want water, okay? And a lot of cruise lines aren't letting you bring on bottled water, but they will let you bring a bottle of wine, and they will let you bring like canned. So some people are bringing canned water, like a 12 pack of canned water that you can get. But another thing too, depending on how many days of sea you have, depending on when you are getting to the port, what's strange is we got to the port, went across the street, like in Puerto Vallarta, for an example, it pulls up at a Walmart and a Costco. We went across the street to the Walmart, didn't really take too much of our day or of our time, because that's where you actually catch the taxi to go into town. So we walked across the street to the Walmart and got a nice big thing of water, and they let us bring it back on the ship, which is weird because when we're at the LA port, we're not able to bring bottled water, but when we go on any of the actual visiting ports, we're able to bring bottle of water back. We brought bottle of water back in Cabo. We brought water bottle back in Cabo. We brought water bottle back in Puerto Vallarta. So it's interesting that they allow you to do that. So if you're not big on drinking, instead of buying a drink package and you don't even want all the calories of soda, or you're not going to drink a lot of alcohol, you may get a thing of wine one day and champagne the next, and that's it. Why not just either, bring your own stuff on? And I'm not saying fly with your water or whatever, but when you land in the area with the cruise port, just here in California, just stop at the 7-Eleven or Walgreens, CVS, pick it up and bring it on, or buy it at the port. I found that to be very convenient and very helpful. So I just want to give that tip away. Of course, you can always bring a hydro flask. I think that is such a smart thing. Bring your nice hydro flask, and you can go down to, or up to, depending on where your cabin is, you can go up to the buffet and put water and fill your water up in a hydro flask. And that way you don't have to worry about even going to the store. So I think that's even a better tip. Make sure that you bring a hydro flask on board for your water. So, and then one last tip that I love, I bring my own blanket. I love bringing my own blanket. And again, I live in driving distance of a cruise port. So I don't know if I would recommend it if you're flying, but then some people bring their blanket on the airplane when they're flying, or you have certain airlines that give you a little blanket. I just think it's helpful, especially when you're watching movies on the deck at night and it can get a little chilly. I like that blanket. And I also just like to sleep with a blanket on top of me. I'm like one of those little snuggle cuddle type people. So I think that's a really great tip. So I'm going to ask you if there's anything that I missed. So think about some things that you want to do day one after embarkation when you get in your cabin. What is it? Whatever I left out, please put in the comments. This is a community for us all to grow and share and learn from one another. Please let us know what I missed as soon as you get to your cabin. So let me know in the comments. And if you like this video, be part of the Ant and Shira Adventures and subscribe to our channel and ring the notification bell. And I will see you in the next video.